So with me firing up the furnace, I went and printed up that little piece, and I've printed it out specifically in mind to do the aluminium casting of it. I'm going to be using it in relation to the trike project that we're working on. It's certainly picked up on the details really nicely, and it shows a lot of promise for using the 3D printer in future projects. That piece was as much a test as anything else. I really wanted to get that forward-facing profile, so I did up that other one, which you can see I've already polished. And I'm going to be using that one a little bit differently to what people are probably thinking I'm going to do. So the custom trike that we're working on is a little bit different in a number of different ways. Mostly in that my brother-in-law, due to an unfortunate accident, has only got partial use of his left arm. So we've got a few custom items that we're working on that will enable him to drive it a lot more comfortably. And things like the clutch, which is normally up on the handlebars, have been modified into a foot pedal. The little button you can see there towards the back of the pedal is actually for a blinker, and there's a corresponding one on the other side. The other pedal there you can see is the brake for the rear wheels. And the other thing I'm going to be helping him build is an electronic gear change system, and that'll set him up with a push button electric gear change, and I'll post a little bit more about how I've done that as I get closer to finishing it off. The simple little one though that the skull applies to is this little piece here. Now, I'm not sure if anybody can really recognise what that truly is, but what we're using it for is a reservoir for the brake fluid, and the hose that you can see there connects to the master cylinder that controls the rear brakes. And I think what we've done there looks a bit nicer than the regular plastic ones that you tend to see in cars and on trail bikes and that sort of thing. Now, if you haven't worked out what it really is, what it actually is an industrial downlight. And what makes it fairly industrial is that the wall thickness of this is both, number one, it's made from stainless steel, and it's nearly 1/2 centimetre thick. It's really, really robust. So we've been able to tap thread connections into the bottom of it for the hose, and that top piece already has a screw thread attached to it where it screws down really nicely as well. And the little skull I'm going to put in there where that little window is as a depth gauge, so that if for any reason the liquid starts getting a bit low, you can see really easily what the level is. So I've made up 4 little legs for it. They're made from stainless steel with a ring around it that holds it in place. They both hold it at the right height as far as depth is concerned, and they also space it out so that it sits in the centre of the cylinder. Basically self-positions into the centre where we want it to be. I think that makes for a pretty nice depth gauge. Its teeth are just below the level of the liquid, so if you start to see that poking up at all, you know it's time to top up the fluid. It almost looks a little bit holographic in there, so I think that looks quite good.